If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I am just over here on my TikTok account. I am live streaming in two places, on TikTok and my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to talk about the 2 hour workday. So, but if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. 2 hour. And I am live streaming. I'm over here on TikTok. TikTok does send notifications out to people when somebody goes live, and YouTube does not do that. It's a little different. TikTok shows me everybody who's coming on. YouTube does not. So if you're on and you don't comment, I don't know who's on if you're on my YouTube channel. Good morning. Where are you coming in from? Let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Hummer Home Pro. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. What part of the world do you live in? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 to 50 minutes outside, away from the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's about a 2 hour ride to New York City. Good morning. Is it Mac Twain? Good morning, Wisdom. Good morning, Offbeat Balls. Good morning, Tyrese. If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I apologize. Where are you coming in from? Good morning, user 2646. What do people call you? What part of the world are you coming in from? It's about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I live on the East Coast, about 40, 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. I'm on Eastern Standard Time. Good morning, Helen. What part of the world are you coming in from? If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. And if you're on my YouTube channel, if you don't say anything, you don't comment, I don't know who's on. TikTok shows me who's coming on. Good morning, is it RGR Limo? What do people call you? Good morning, Dyrus. If I didn't pronounce that correctly, I apologize. Good morning, user 614. You're from New Jersey. What part of New Jersey are you from, Helen? I used to live in New Jersey, South Jersey, Winslow Township. I didn't live there long, but I did live in New Jersey. Good morning, Tootsie. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Good morning, Alice. What part of the world are you coming in from? I do live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm getting people on these from all over the world. Good morning, G. Good morning, Rosemary. Good morning, Nancy. Burlington County. Okay, I was in Camden County, so it's not that far. Good morning, Nancy. If you're jumping on, what part of the world are you coming in from? And again, if you're on my YouTube channel, if you don't say anything, I don't know you're there. So I can't shout you out. If you comment, I'd be glad to shout you out. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Will. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, good morning, Sunset Beach, John. Where are you coming in from? So today I was going to talk about, I was going to break down the 2 hour workday, because a lot of people don't know what that is and what makes up the 2 hour workday. And it's something I've been following, and it's my mentor. It's a proven blueprint. So I've got my whiteboard here today. The 2 hour workday consists of a couple things. Helen, actually, I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. And this morning I was going to talk about the 2 hour workday. Because what I'm using, it's a blueprint I learned from my mentor. It's a 2 hour workday where you get your income producing activities in 2 hours a day, and then you can do whatever you want. And a lot of, if you're brand new, somebody's just starting this, it might take you longer than 2 hours, because the more you do something, the better and faster you get at it. Yeah, you have to go to your 8 hour workday. If you're working a job, that's 8 hours. Most people are working 40 hours a week. Good morning, Debbie. This is a 2 hour workday. And my mentor has used this. She's actually made $8 million doing this. And I'm the first. I mean, it's really pretty easy, but if you've never done this before, so the first piece of this is post ads or free classify ads. Let me put that on here. And I've got my thing here, and they make these markers. There's an eraser on one end, but you got to take that off if you want to write anything. Because I've been using this. Let me just put, it's really they're free classified ads. And there's tons of sites you can use these for. We show you and the training I got from my mentor with the free ads. You spend 30 minutes. Let me put that on here. Yeah, I mean, you're breaking down your 2 hours, but the free ads are 30 minutes. That's what it's 30 minutes. You spend 30 minutes a day doing free ads. Now, there's tons of free classified classified ad sites you can use. You can go to Google and look for them, but you can also in my program we have like at least 100 sites you can go to, um, but you pick different sites you want to use, and then you spend 30 minutes. And I would say how I would break this down is pick 10 or 3 or 4 sites and post 10 ads on each. We also give you the text. If you want to do this on your own, you can go to Google and search free classified ads, and then pick some sites that you want to do it. But that's the first step in this. So it's 30 minutes on this, and after you get a routine and you've been doing this, you get better at it, you get faster at it. So the second one, and you spend 1 hour on this. You create 3 short videos. Now the short videos are 5 to 7 minutes. And if you follow me on my TikTok account, you spend 1 hour doing 3 short videos. The videos you're making are congruent to what you're doing. So if you're doing weight loss, I mean, I don't do weight loss. My 3 videos would be around weight loss. I might do one, say 5 ways to lose weight without starving yourself. And I've got a thing that I follow for that, but you do 3 short videos a day. They're 5 to 7 seconds. If you follow me on my TikTok account and on my Instagram account, I post 3 videos every day. I started posting 3 videos last June. That's how I've gotten my TikTok account. I'm over 100,000 followers. I'm monetized. So TikTok actually pays me to do these live streams. Close to 100,000 followers on Instagram, and I would be monetized over there, but they stopped their program, so you can't get monetized. They used to pay people for the views on your reels. So the first 30 minutes, and you can do these in any order you want, you spend doing free ads, posting free ads, and it's congruent to whatever you're doing. If you want to do this yourself, go to Google, search free classified ad sites. You can find some that way. As far as writing the ads, you're on your own. I just gave you an example using TikTok. So you do 30 minutes on the free ads. And then the second thing of this is an hour. So you're up to an hour and a half. You spend an hour creating 3 short videos. Now, when you start to get really good at the videos, it's not going to take an hour. You can get it down to like 30 to 40 minutes, but if you're new, and it might take you longer initially. And then the third one is you spend 30 minutes responding to comments and emails. Now, if you're brand new and you've never done this before, you're probably not going to have, in the beginning, you're probably not going to have any comments or emails to respond to. And I do have software to use it on my Instagram account. It responds to all the comments for me, so I don't have to do that over there. Right now, it's in beta for TikTok, and they're not giving, if you live in the United States, they're not giving you any access to it. So I can't use the software. I can't use the software right now on TikTok until this whole thing with the ban gets whatever. But that's the breakdown of the 2-hour workday. Now, so when you're new and you don't have enough comments or emails, you could use this to do the other 2. But as you get as you keep doing this, you will start getting the people to comment and do the emails. So that's the 2-hour workday. If you want more details and you want the whole blueprint or breakdown, I have a free PDF. You can go to payudaily.com. Go put your email address in. There's 2 videos. Watch the 2 videos. You'll get an email from me with a link with the PDF. You can download and save it. That's yours to keep. If you have any questions, you can respond back to my email. But this is, if anybody wants to let me do this on TikTok over here, and then YouTube, if you want to take a screenshot of that. That's the 2-hour workday that we've all been following. And there is, you follow the steps. So let me just look at these messages. Now, TikTok just took all the messages away, the questions. So I can't see the questions. Well, let me see if I can find that. Helen, you're saying But you buy your own health insurance, you pay taxes on everything you make. I usually do mine when I do my tax return, I keep account of it, and depending on what you're doing, they send you, a 1099, and you wanna know how much you've made in that time. How much time, you're talking about 2 hours a day? Um, that's a kind of a vague question. So, good morning, Bobby. Good morning, KC. Good morning, Wolfgang. Good morning, KC. Good morning, Deb King. And hi, is it Manthan? If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I apologize. But if you're on my TikTok account, like Manthan has just done, if you don't comment, I can't see you. Good morning, Huckabug, or is it Barb? Good morning, Deb. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. Um, you are balding. What is that? I don't know. Is that a nasty comment? Should I block you? Yeah, when people leave nasty comments on my stuff, I don't tolerate that. I put too much, whether it's a live stream like this or one of my videos, I put too much work into this, for people to leave nasty negative comments, or if you're spamming something you're doing, putting a link to a video or a website, I do block you. If you message me privately on any social media thing, and you do that, you're sending me a link to something, you're being negative, I will block you. I just don't have time for that. Good morning, Carolina. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning. Is it M. Berg? What do people call you? What part of the world you're coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning, Zippa. I do online marketing, making money from home. I Last month was my 14-year anniversary in this industry. I haven't worked a job in over 9 years. I started doing this, and it was August of 14 years ago. I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. It was the worst job market ever. People were getting 1,500 resumes for one position. So if your application or resume even made it out of the stack, because usually what you would do, and they were giving you tests to take, it would take you 2 to 3 hours to apply just to one job, and then you get an automated email where they thank you for saying, thanks for applying. If we're interested, we'll get back to you. And then most of the time, you didn't hear anything back. Good morning, Gina. I never had trouble getting a job, and in that job market, I couldn't find one. I ended up being broke, unemployed, in foreclosure. I was drowning in $250,000 of debt. And if I hadn't found this industry in digital marketing, I don't think I'd still be in my house. But and the job market now today in 2025 is completely different. You could basically walk into any place and get a job. And it was not like that when I lost mine. And a job I ended up eventually finding one was $12.50 an hour in a call center. I took a temporary seasonal job at Lowe's, and that was $11 an hour. And you want to talk about working your backside off? But that was what I could get, and I needed the money. But this, I mean, and the job I lost, I was spending 2 to 3 hours a day commuting. And I don't miss that on Interstate 95. And my commute now is literally, I don't even think it's a minute. I go up a flight of stairs in my house, and I have a room upstairs where I'm at right now. I turn that into my office. And there's a lot of tax benefits, write-offs to having a home business, because I can write off the space where my office is. I can write off my internet access, and that kind of thing. And there's great tax write-offs. Good morning, Debbie. Good morning. Is it Joe? If you're jumping on, what part of the world are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. And today I was talking, and if you weren't on in the beginning, I was talking about the 2-hour workday we're using. And this is I learned this from my mentor, and using a proven system, working 2 hours a day. You can get this down to 2 hours a day. In the beginning, it's probably going to take you longer if you've never done this, because the more you do something, the better you get at it, you get faster. But you can definitely get it down to 2 hours a day. And actually, when I'm done here, I have couple more things I want to do, and then I'm done. And part of my 2-hour workday, and I spend a little bit more than 2 hours, is because I've been live streaming every day now for the last couple of months. I committed to doing these and being on here for an hour. So if you've got questions, and I do believe most of you are on here because you're either looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. Or maybe, and there's other people I know that get on here. Good morning, Rosemary. Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Dunk. What do people call you? Good morning, Tiffer. that you got a 9 to 5 that you don't really want to do, or there's people that have jumped on here. You're working 2 jobs to try to make ends meet. And I know every time I go to the grocery store, food just keeps going up. You eat out, the last time you could have gotten the exact same thing, and it costs more. I think the only thing that's gone down in price is gas. I'm not spending as much money to fill my car with gas, but with the prices going up and the stuff with the tariffs and all these other things, I mean, food has just gotten so out of hold. Your name is Gary. Okay. Good morning, Gary. Thanks for jumping on. Somebody just gave me a flash goal, whoever that was. Thank you. If you like my video, I'd really appreciate it. Whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate that. It helps my accounts out. If you have a question, drop in the comments. Good morning, AS. Good morning, Rena. If you're jumping on, what part of the world are you coming in from? If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. But I just was I was outlining the 2-hour workday we're doing. And my mentor, it's her proven formula, it's her proven blueprint. And she's actually used it over the last couple of years to make $8 million. And I do believe by the time we get to the end of this year, because there's only like 89 days left of this year, she'll be past the 8 million. She might be at 9 or 10. But there's a lot of people, and I've had people jump on these lives. You're working 2 jobs to make ends meet. You don't have any time to do anything or spend with your kids. And I did that at one point. I was working a full-time and part-time job, and I was in school at night, and it was exhausting. And if I did get a day off, I was so tired, I'd sleep most of the day. And we have people in our community. We have a woman who was working 2 jobs. She never had time to see her kids. She was exhausted. I'm doing digital marketing. It's the e-learning industry. She started doing this, and now she's quit both of those jobs. And the fact that how many people there are that are working 2 jobs and they're having trouble making ends meet. And then there's a lot of people that you're working 1 job and you can't make ends meet. And some of you may be considering to get another job. This is way better because I make my own hours. I don't report to anybody. I work when I want to work. I do as much as I want. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Country Girl. Good morning, Jeffrey. Good morning, Glenn. What part of the world are you coming in from? This is way better. And you can decide how much you want to make. I've had days in this industry where I've made more money in a single day than I made in a whole month when I still work in a job. And for me, that's been life-changing. And I'm not the only one, but it's not. And I did start looking to do this because I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. I was broke, unemployed, in foreclosure. I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have a partner to fall back on. I had to find a way to make money. And the job I did find was $12.50 an hour in a call center. And I was grateful for that every day, but I lost that job too. And after 2 times of you've got somebody standing there handing you your severance papers saying today's your last day, and you had no idea that it was totally unexpected. You don't want to leave your destiny and your future in somebody else's hands. At least I don't. Good morning, Star. Good morning, user 4542. What do people call you? And there's people coming on here that you have user with no picture because you didn't set up a profile. And what TikTok does, they just issue you and they just a user number. So nobody's going to know who you are. Good morning, Lily. If you're jumping on, what part of the world are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Star. Good morning, Doris. What part of the world are you coming in from? Good morning, Brian. Good morning, West Street Guy. Good morning, Glenn. What part of the world are you coming in from? And I did, if anybody's got any questions, I went over a 2-hour workday I've been using that my mentor taught me. And yeah, you can get this down to 2 hours a day. If you're new and you've never done this before, it's probably going to take you longer because anytime you're starting to learn something new, it'll take you longer. As you do it more, you'll get better. You'll get faster. You're in Michigan. Okay. Good morning. Is it Cyrus? Good morning, Flag Monkey. What do people call you? But I do believe most of you, somehow I knew that people were making money on the internet. And I think it was God telling me. I went to Google. I didn't know anyone. I searched make money online. I bought a website. They sent me a 3-page PDF how to set up pay-per-click ads. So I was doing that. I was setting up pay-per-click ads, and I was sending traffic to a replicated website, which you never want to do. And and I spent $3,000 on the ads. I don't even remember what I spent on the website. I did that for a year. I didn't make any money. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a proven system. I didn't have any training. And I knew after that I had to get around somebody that had been successful doing this, because success leaves clues. So I ended up on Facebook, and I joined a company. Then I saw an ad that was 100% commissions. That company's not around anymore. Um, then the rest is history. I've been doing this now. It was 14 years last month. I haven't worked a job. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Nini. If you're jumping on, let me know where part of the world you're coming in from. Good morning, Dale. Thank you for liking my live, Susan. I really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to like it, I appreciate it. That helps my accounts out. So I did go over the 2 hour workday. There was a woman work on here, and I don't know if she's even still on. You were asking about taxes and stuff, and you wanted to know how much I've made. Well, actually, what I make isn't any relevance to you, but I can tell you I've made more days where I've made more money in one day than I made in a whole month when I was working a job. And for me, that's been life changing. And you can basically decide. Good morning, Michael. Susan, I've been here. I've been on probably for about 20 minutes. I've been going live at 10 a.m. Eastern, committed to doing these for an hour every single day. Thank you, Michael, for liking the live. Susan, thank you for liking the live. If anybody else, if you want to like my live, whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate that. That helps my account out. But I went over the 2 hour workday. And I don't know if the woman that was asking those questions, if she's still on, because I could see people coming on. TikTok shows me the number of people on. I don't know if she's still on, and as far as she had a question about taxes, yeah, you do have to pay taxes on any income you make. Some of it, depending on what you're doing, some send you a 1099. I have things that they don't send me a 1099. I still have to report that all my taxes. That's how I do that. And then usually when I do my tax return, there's money that I owe, because you're a business owner, you're an independent business owner. It's not like a job where you get a W-2, but you do have to pay taxes on everything you earn. Thank you, Susan, for liking the live. I really appreciate it. But if anybody has any questions, I had my whiteboard here. This is the 2 hour workday. I broke it down. If you want to take a screenshot of this, if you're on my TikTok account, and I'll put this over here if you're on my YouTube channel. That's a 2 hour workday I've been following. And mine is actually longer than that, because I'm doing more than and I go over the different activities in the 2 hour workday. I live stream for an hour every day. That's part of my day. So my day is more like 3 or 4 hours. I'm on multiple platforms too. If you're brand new, I do suggest you pick one social media platform, and you do that till you master it, and then move on to others. I've been doing this for a long time, so I am on multiple platforms. Right now, as of this moment, I'm live streaming on both my TikTok account and my YouTube channel. I have software that lets me do that. And what's cool about the software, when I end this live, the whole recording of this will upload on my YouTube channel. It becomes a piece of content, and then I can reuse it if I want. And unless I take it down, that will stay there. TikTok only saves these for 30 days. And from what I can see on TikTok, not only do they don't just save it for 30 days, but it looks like they break it up in pieces. It's not the whole recording. And the piece on YouTube is better because that's the whole recording. I can repurpose that if I want. And you do have the ability now on different platforms. You can break up parts of your videos. It's just the technology that's out now. And I use AI. In fact, I got a course on AI in June, because it's not going away. I know some people are afraid of it, but it's just better. It's not that AI is going to replace you. It's that the people who learn AI will replace you. Because a lot of people are worried about you losing their jobs. Good morning, Dion. Good morning, Robert. If you're concerned about that, then you definitely probably want to learn how to use AI, because it's not going away. I can tell you, go out to Google now and go to Google and search something. Those first responses that are coming up, that's AI. And the AI actually saves me time with creating my content, because I do 3 videos a day and post them. Good morning, Faith. Good Good morning, the end. What do people call you? Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Susan and Michael, for liking my live. I really appreciate it. Um, it's not going away. And if if you're really concerned about it replacing you, then you want to learn it. And I do believe, unfortunately, there's going to be people using it for evil. People probably already are using it for evil. Good morning, Romeo. But I'm using it for good, and it saves me time with creating content. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Michael, for liking the live. I really appreciate it. If anybody has any questions, if you have a question about online marketing, social media marketing, drop in the comments. If you've got something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to do a training. I've just been picking topics. Good morning, Jeffrey. I just been picking topics today. I broke down the 2-hour workday. I did one about email marketing, because if you're using social media and you're not using email marketing, you have a piece missing. And I shared with, and I've said this how many times, I'll say it again. When I first started doing this, somehow I knew people were making money on the internet. I didn't know anyone. I mean, I went to Google, I searched make money online. I bought a website. There was a replicated website. I was setting up pay-per-click ads. They sent me a thing about that. I had no idea what I was doing. And sending traffic to a replicated website. I spent $3,000 on pay-per-click ads. Good morning, Leslie. I did that for a year. I didn't make any money because I didn't have a mentor, I didn't have training, and I didn't have a proven system. Because there's a lot of people, good morning, Jess, a lot of people on social media, you're sending people to just a page with a website with information, or a replicated website like I was doing. And the issue with that, or a sales page, the issue with that is you only have one chance to talk to the person. And then when they're gone, that's it. You can't keep talking to them. And if you are selling something, most people are not going to buy something on first touch. They're going to have to see it multiple times before. And if you think about your own buying habits, how many times do you look at something before you make a buying decision? And that is true. Now, I do get some sales on first touch, but that's not typical. And to give you a good example of that, I had somebody that opted into my email list last October, a year ago, October 2024. I did talk to her a few times on TikTok, and then she bought something from me in July. So she was on my email list for 10 months. I mean, you can use social media. There's over 5 billion people to expose whatever you're doing, put content out that's congruent to what you're doing. Good morning, Christian. Put it out on your social media account, get their email address. It's preferable if you give something away for free, and then start nurturing those leads in your email list. And eventually people start buying from you. And how long that's going to take, I don't know. But if you're just sending people to a page with information, you're not capturing their email address. If you go to my website, paydaily.com, you put your email address in, and then you become a subscriber on my email list. And that is really the only thing you own on social media. Because I've lost 10 TikTok accounts. I lost 3 Instagram accounts. You don't own or control your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time if you post something and that site does not like what you put. Sometimes you can lose your account like this, or they'll issue you a community guidelines violation. And if you do it again, like, your account will be gone. So if you're not doing that, you've got a missing piece. And there's a lot of people. If I go to some people's profiles, well, you don't have, you want to set your profile up. I'm an attraction marketer that you attract people to you. So you don't have to go chasing people. And a lot of people do that. They're chasing people. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Breezy3. Where are you coming in from? Thank you, Michael and Susan, for liking my live. I really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to like my live, whether you're on my YouTube channel or my TikTok account, I'd appreciate it. Good morning, Angie. Good morning, BZ3 Ski. I don't know, are you Scare? What do people call you? Good morning, Bud. If you're jumping on, what part of the world you're coming in from? If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. If you've got a question, drop it in the comments. And Susan and Michael are like going to town liking my live. If anybody else wants to do that, I'd appreciate that, whether you're on my TikTok account or you on my YouTube channel. If you are on my YouTube channel, if you don't comment, I can't see who's on, so I can't shout you out. So if you want me to shout you out, drop something in the comments. YouTube only shows me the time and the number of people on. TikTok does show me when people are coming on or people are liking the video, which unfortunately YouTube does not show you that. And I can tell when people, because there's people that jump on what a lot of people do on these lives, just not mine. They jump on mine, then they jump off, they get on somebody else's or do something else and they come back. I can see that. I can see when they jumped on and then there's other things going on and they jump back, they got jumped off, but people do that. There's no accountability on these. You can basically do what you want. Good morning, Blant. Is it Yelder? If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I apologize. What part of the world are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm close. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's about a 2-hour drive from where we're at to drive to New York City because I've done that. It's the East Coast of the United States. And I get people on these lives from all over the world. I've had people from Nigeria, United Kingdom, and anywhere in the world. I have customers from different parts of the world. I have somebody from Sweden. So, I mean, this is, and what I'm doing global, so anybody can do it. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. And there are some things out there that it's restricted based on where you live. Good morning, Low Life. I hope that's not what people call you. Good morning, Beyond. Good morning, is it Nemix? Where are you coming in from? So it's global. I mean, there are things, and I'm involved with something else. It's only available to people who live in the United States and Canada, and then there's some restrictions on that. So if you are, and I did another training the other day, and I got my handy whiteboard here about if you wanted to start an online business, you want a product that's global and that's in high demand. Because if it's not in high demand, you're probably going to have an issue making sales. If it's not global, then depending, because social media, I mean, my videos go out to so many different places, literally anywhere in the world. And like right now, there's a company I do some business with there in Singapore. Singapore, there's a 12-hour time difference. So it's 10:31 a.m. where I live. In Singapore, it's 10:31 p.m. at night. I mean, there's a 12-hour time difference. There's people that have jumped on here from Nigeria, Africa, the Philippines, and then all over the United States. So this really is global. So you want something that's global that no matter where the person lives, they can do it. Good morning, Defiance. Because if you're doing something that's only and I am involved in something that's only available to people that live in Canada and the United States. It's why I don't put it on my social media accounts, because a lot of people are not. Susan's from Nigeria. There's a lot of people that wouldn't be able to do it. So you want something that's in high demand, that's global. And the other thing I would tell you that you can make 100% profit. There's different business models out there, and I've done them all: network marketing, affiliate marketing, high ticket affiliate marketing, and digital marketing. And when I got some of my own products, I really liked making 100%. And digital marketing, with this, you can make 100% profit. The money comes direct to you. If you're doing affiliate marketing, high ticket affiliate marketing, network marketing, the money goes to the company. They put together a pay schedule. They decide how they want to pay you. And some of them have their own wallets that you got to sign up for that and then attach, bank account. The money comes directly to me. I use Stripe. And one of the things I love about Stripe is Stripe lets me withdraw up to $500 every single day. And it literally takes 15 minutes to hit my bank account. I know because I timed it. And a lot of these other programs, you can be waiting. I know I've had ones that have held them, whatever I made 30, 60 days. And I like it a lot better when the money just comes direct to me. There's no middleman. So thank you, Susan. Thank you, Michael, for liking my live. I really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to like it, it doesn't matter if you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel. It helps my accounts. I really appreciate it if you do that. So if anybody's got any comments, good morning, El Reno Gear. What do people call you? It looks like quite a few people that are coming on here. Your accounts are in something other than your name. Depending on what you're doing, and if you're doing what I'm doing, you want to brand yourself. And actually, I did a training about that the other day, because people join people, not companies. And just about everything I'm involved with, and I have had a couple of my own products, with that exception, there's a company involved in it. And you never want to, I see people set up social media accounts instead of using their name. Like one person and she was doing something with me, she put her first name and she made, instead of putting her real last name, she put the company's name. Good morning, Carly. And you never want to do that. And you never want to set up any kind of social media account. If you're promoting someone else's stuff, good morning, Tammy, you never want to put it under their name. You want to put it under your name. People join people, not companies. You want to brand yourself. And if I look at a lot of people's profiles, good morning, is it Francis? Yeah, they don't put anything up. Some people don't put a picture up and then they don't put a name, and then on TikTok they issue a user number. Some people put their name, and put your name the correct way, first, last, put a good picture of yourself because people want to know you're real. With all the fake accounts, I've got at least 10 people on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm sure at this point there's more, that they've made fake accounts of me. Good morning, Lena. The way you can tell a account is fake, yeah, because they steal your picture, they steal my videos. If you go up to the username on TikTok, my username is the real Linda Bamba. What people do is, and if you look at the username, there's something in there. Mine is just a straight the real Linda Bamba. They put a symbol in there, a hyphen, an extra letter, a number or something, and they can create an account that way. Good morning, Ron. They put that, if you really look closely at the usernames, if there's anything else in there, it's a fake account. I don't use Telegram or WhatsApp, and they're trying to get people. They go through my, and I have my follower list hidden, but they try to see if they can find out who's following you. Actually, Susan, if you go up to, you won't see it on this live. You have to go up here to the top of my profile, and there's a little bio there. My website's in there. It's payyouddaily.com. You won't see it on the live. You have to look at my account, or you can just put payyouddaily.com in your web browser, and it'll take you to my site. Good morning, Alyssa. Good morning, James. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Tammy. What part of the world are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. Just talking about all the fake accounts, but that's the way you can tell if somebody's account is fake. If there's something, and it's just usually one thing, another letter, number, symbol that they put into the username, because TikTok, my username is the real Linda Baba. They're not going to issue any other account under that exact name. So people do that. They put something extra in there. And if you look really closely, they've taken my picture, they rip down my videos and post it on another account. And then what they try to do is they start messaging people. I don't do crypto. I don't do Forex. I'm not on WhatsApp or Telegram. They're trying to send you something about that, or trying to get you on WhatsApp or Telegram. I don't use any of them. I don't message people. I'm never going to message you, ask you for money, or say I'm doing some crypto Forex thing, because I don't do that. If you're getting that, it's a fake account. You can block them, but from what I understand from Meta, they don't, well, blocking you, then they'll be out of the thing. But there's so many people doing that, and there's no social media platform that's going to make two accounts. Like on TikTok, mine's the real Linda Bamba. They're not going to let somebody else make an account under that exact name. There'll be something different about it. So good morning, Yvette, if you're not sure if somebody's account's real or not, go up to their username, and if there's something in there, and mine is the real Linda Bamba, there's no extra letters, numbers, symbols, or anything, it's a fake account. And I doubt there's going to be fake accounts at this point, but there could be. I've got over, I think it's 112,000 followers on TikTok. That somebody that's setting up a fake account that's going to get that many followers. Good morning, David. Good morning, Kevin. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. And Michael has been good morning, Kevin. Generous with his likes. If anybody else wants to like my live, whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel, it helps my account out. You're from New Hampshire. My one brother used to live in New Hampshire. He lived in Amherst. He moved. Well, he got divorced and then got remarried, and with his new wife, they were both from New Hampshire. Well, my brother wasn't from New Hampshire, but he lived up there. She was from New Hampshire, and they moved to North Carolina. They're living, I think, close to Raleigh. The name of their town I'd never heard before. Good morning, Yolanda. Good morning, Lions Den. What part of the world are you coming in from? So I get people on these lives from all over the world. Yeah, and when my brother was still living in New Hampshire, I actually had gone up to my niece's high school graduation, and they were still together. They're not together now, but it's a really nice place, and it gets colder up there. Even I'm close to New York. It does get cold here in the winter, but it gets colder up there, and they're in a warmer climate now in North Carolina. Good morning. Is it Harim? If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, good morning, Dawn. What part of the world are you coming in from? Good morning, Gio. If anybody wants to like my lives, I'd appreciate it, whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube live. If you are on YouTube, if you don't say anything and comment, I can't see names of people that are on. YouTube does not show me that. They show me the time I've been live streaming. So I can't shout you out if you don't comment. If you're on my YouTube live, I am live streaming in two places. I'm on my phone on TikTok, and I'm on YouTube on my MacBook Pro. And Michael, and I don't know if, let me see if she's still on here. Michael's been liking my live a lot. And Susan. And Susan's from Nigeria. I don't know if she's still on or not. Um, I can't see. I mean, I can scroll and see when people have come on, but TikTok doesn't show you like, I mean, if I come up here, I'd have to go off the live to see it. I can see some people's faces, and that shows me the number. That's the people that are on live. The scroll that it's here, it's as people are coming on, or people are liking it, or dropping a question. So I did, and before some of you got on, I did a short training about the 2-hour workday. Good morning, Donna. What part of the world are you coming in from? And this is my YouTube channel, and I am going back and forth here because I'm looking at the comments on both of these. No, there's another Susan that's on from Nigeria. Susan 550 is from Nigeria. You're just Susan. Happen to have two Susans on here today. So if you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. Good morning, Sim. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm on social media because I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people the same thing. I've been doing this actually in September. It was my 14-year anniversary. I haven't worked a full-time job in 9 years. I started doing this after it was August 14 years ago. I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. Worst job market ever. And I ended up, I think I got 3 interviews ever applying for jobs for a year. And it was taking 2 to 3 hours to fill one application out. They were getting 1,500 applications for one job. If yours even made it out of the pack. And when you did submit one, you get an automated email saying, thanks for applying. If we're interested, we'll contact you. And then you never hear from them again. And ended up being broke, unemployed, and in foreclosure, drowning in like $250,000 of debt. And I believe if I hadn't found this industry in digital marketing, that I probably would have lost my house. I lost a lot of other things because I went for a long period of time without any income, and I was collecting unemployment for like a year and a half, which was like $2,000, which wasn't even half of what I was clearing when I still was working a job. Yeah, Kevin, I've shared this I do believe everything happens for a reason, and the people that I've met, because I've learned things here that I didn't learn in school. My parents didn't teach me. I surely didn't learn it in college, and my bachelor's degree is in business. But for me personally, my pain has always pushed me. I was at one point so broke I was cutting. Yeah, I think so, Kevin. I was cutting mold out of food because I pissed my family and friends off. For me, it's pain that's always pushed me. Dr. Michael Beckwith said, pain will push you until your vision pulls you. And I was eating mold, hoping I wouldn't get sick. And I never wanted to be in that situation again. And I'm not in that now. I'm grateful. But now I'm dealing with 2 cancer diagnoses. So it's still pain pushing me because I don't want to burden anyone. And I don't know how this is going to play out. I'm fine right now. But an MD really can't tell me for sure what's going to happen, because it's not the same with each person. I don't want to burden anyone. I want to stay in my house, and that costs money. So it's pain that keeps pushing me. And I think a lot of people, they get in here and do this. And like, I've never had a problem being consistent, and when I say consistent, you need to show up every day. I mean, 7 days a week. Most people aren't. And I think it's you have to dig deeper about why you're doing this because now I've met some women wanting to be home with their kids. It's got to be so painful to you that when you don't feel like working, and I've had plenty of times I haven't felt like working, that it's going to push you. And I think most people that get into this, they just don't have something that's so painful to them. And we have a woman in our community. We've got like over 56,000 people now. Thank you, Susan. And I think God gave me the strength to cope with all this. And I do believe everything happens for a reason. There was a reason I lost my job, and I still don't think I have that all quite figured out. There's a reason I've gotten two kinds of cancer. And I did work in cancer before I started doing this. I worked in cancer research for 16 years. I know what the research can do. And like with prostate cancer now, the men don't die of prostate cancer anymore. It's because of the research. I mean, it's become manageable. Good morning, Carl. And takes millions and like $5 million to do cancer research is nothing. And the one thing I have is very rare. Like in the U.S., only 200,000 people have it. There's 3 drugs. I've had a lot. The one drug I'm on, I've had a really hard time tolerating it. And there's a clinical trial that's out with a new drug. The FDA does have the drug, but it takes on average 10 years for them to approve it. I wanted to get on that study. But the pharmaceutical company that started it, they ended up having to have Merck buy them out. And I think it was a money issue. Merck bought them out. Merck is not doing as much with the study, and they changed the eligibility for it. And now I don't qualify. The other pharmaceutical company had stayed, and I get it because I know how much money it costs to do research. So yeah, you're from Georgia. Do you live close, Donna? Do you live close to Atlanta? I've been to Atlanta a couple times. Been to the Coca-Cola factory. So if you've never been to Atlanta and you go to Atlanta, guys, go see the Coca-Cola factory. It's pretty cool. Good morning, Maurice. I was in Atlanta probably 3 or 4 times when I was still working a job. I had to travel for that job. We had some conferences and stuff going on. I was in Atlanta, and we stayed. Is it an Omni Hotel that's near the CNN Center? Because I know there was a whole food court there. That when we go get lunch, we go over there. Good morning, Margaret. What part of the world are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States, and I do. And this industry can change your life. And I should say this because somebody probably needs to hear this today. It's your birthright to be wealthy. It's my birthright to be wealthy. God did not mean for anybody to be broke or living in poverty, and yet so many people are. Good morning, Prophet or Deborah. You have prophets. Is it Deborah? Is that what people call you? Thanks for jumping on. Yeah, I think people need to hear that because most people are about an inch away from a financial disaster. If you have something unexpected that happens, and your car breaks down, and most people don't have $1,000 set aside to get it fixed. Donna, you're from Monroe, Georgia. Listen now. Okay. Yeah. Atlanta's nice, and I think people in the South, I live in the North, move a lot slower, and I think Atlanta's one of the Carolinas, and my one brother moved to North Carolina. Okay, well, Susan, thanks for coming on. Thanks for jumping on my live and liking it. I appreciate it. Good morning, Margaret. You're from Boston. I've been to Boston too. The one job I had that working in cancer research, the one I was at that for 13 years, I got to travel. It was probably the best job I ever had. I got to travel to a lot of places I probably would have never gotten to go to. I got to go to Canada a couple times to Montreal, and a couple times to Toronto, which I'd probably never gone. Pretty much went all over the country, not too much in the Midwest. I was in Chicago once, and Chicago is pretty cool. Can I call you Deborah? What the family friends call you? And I am live streaming on 2 places, and I got people commenting on YouTube, and I got people commenting on my TikTok account. So, I mean, good morning, Susie. A lot of you, I do believe a lot of you are online because you're either looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results you want. Good morning, Luis. And this industry can change your life. And the job I lost, I was spending 2 to 3 hours a day commuting. I don't miss that. I don't and I don't even think it's a minute now because my commute is literally up my stairs. You live in Massachusetts, okay? It's literally up my steps, and that doesn't even take me a minute. Versus I was spending 2 to 3 hours driving, and I've had days that it was even longer than that. There was one day I left at 4 o'clock. It was snowing a little here. There wasn't even an inch on the ground. And that night, that took me over 3 hours. It was after 7 o'clock when I got home. That was over 3 hours, and I don't miss that at all. And that's all. That most of that was highway driving on Interstate 95. If you've ever been on it, so that's another benefit of being able to work from home. You don't have to commute. You don't have a boss to answer to. You can make your own hours. You can pretty much decide what you want to do. And most people that you have a job, you're not going to be able to do this. And I did a video I put up on my account yesterday because I had some stuff, personal stuff I needed to get done yesterday morning. And actually, when I got off this live, I did a short video in my car, and I'm saying, and I had errands to do, and then I was going to go grab lunch, and then there's some baseball that's been playing. I'm a huge baseball fan and a football fan, that I could do that, and I could do all of that because of this. Because otherwise, I'd be working a job. I'd be stuck there till 4 or 5 o'clock. And when I still worked a job, if like and I'm a Phillies fan and we're in the playoffs, we play Saturday, I would take something into work and listen to it. Like I'd have earbuds and stuff, but it's not the same. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the car, you can listen to it on your radio too, but it's not the same as seeing it like on a big screen TV. And I've never been able to do that before. Now, because of this, I can do all that. If I need to do something, I don't have to ask anybody. And if you're working a job, you have to do that. And I worked I mean, I started working full time when I was 17, so I know a lot about that, and I don't miss the commute, all that. And it's just not about making money. I mean, that's one of the reasons I started doing this because I needed to find a way to replace my income from the job I lost, but it's also the time freedom. Because if you work for a job and you work, say your hours are 8 to 4, if you need to do something in that time, you're going to have to ask. If you want to take a day off, you need to leave early, you want to take a vacation, you've got to ask. Okay, I'll call you Debbie. One of my closest friends, her name is Debbie. And it was funny on my TikTok live. It was her name, it was hyphenated, and I don't, her first name and last name, and it wasn't her, it was somebody else because the name was hyphenated. And we were out last week, and I was saying, hey, there's somebody jumped on my live that was the same name as you. And because I haven't met many people that have our same name, which that was cool. So if you got a question about, I mean, I do online marketing, making money from home. If there's something you're trying to figure out, and I asked this question, I'll see if anybody will answer today. How much time a day do you spend on social media? Good morning, Rose. And I've had like one person since I've been doing these over the last couple of months that honestly answered that. And her response was, I spend way too much time. When I'm on social media, I'm getting paid. Like TikTok is paying me to do this live. How much time do you spend on social media? And for some people, it's hours. And like that woman said, I spend way too much time. Why not get paid for it? Because you can monetize your social media profile. You can turn it into an ATM. You can turn your phone into an ATM. Why not? Because and most people are not going to admit it, that you're getting on social media, you're scrolling, and you might have only meant to say, oh, I'm just going to get on for 15 minutes, and then 30 minutes goes by, and then an hour or two. Why not get paid for it? Okay, and I can see on TikTok. I mean, I know when people jump off and jump on, I can't see that on YouTube. If somebody doesn't comment, I don't even know you're there. But I can see what TikTok shows me is people coming on, and then what people do on these lives, they jump off, they may get on another person's live, do something else, and then some of them end up coming back. And when they jump back on my live, because I believe they're jumping on other people's lives, I can see them. And people do that all the time. There's no really I think that's one of the reasons these people really like these lives, because there's no accountability. You don't have to say or do anything if you don't want. You don't have to show your face. You can jump on and off whenever you want. You could be laying on your couch with your phone and jump on somebody's live. You could be sitting on the toilet for all anybody knows. So I don't think there's any accountability. And it's one of the reasons why I think people like these lives so much, because you don't You don't really have to do anything. Um, but I'm on here. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Laura. I'm on here because I do online marketing, making money from home. I teach other people how to do the same thing. I have not worked a job in over 9 years, and I don't need one, and I don't want one, and I never have to go back to that again. Good morning, Kim. And I was spending the job I lost. I was spending 2 to 3 hours a day commuting, and then tack on if you're working 40 hours a week. Um, and some people, some of you, I had some people get on this. You're working more than one job because you can't make ends meet. There's some people even working 3 jobs. And we have a woman in our group that she was working 2 jobs. She was exhausted all the time. She never had time to do anything or spend that time with her kids because when she did get a day off, she was exhausted. And she started doing this digital marketing. She's in our community. Now she's been able to lead both those jobs. She's actually making more money doing digital marketing than she was at those 2 jobs and not spending anywhere near the amount of time that she was. This industry, this can set you free. It's freedom. And a lot of people, I think some people are afraid. And I tell you, don't be afraid because, well, I didn't have a choice when I started this, but you got to get around the right people. Good morning, Candy. You got to get around the right people, and you can get this down to 2 hours a day. But it's mindset and skill set, and you have to master both. So if you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. I'm about 2 hours. It's about a 2 hour drive to New York City from where I'm at. And I have driven, it's been a long time, driven to New York City. But if anybody has any questions, I do believe most of you, you're on here because Candy, you're from Ghana. Okay. Got somebody from Nigeria this morning, somebody from Boston, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Hampshire. I do believe most of you are on here. If somebody wants to drop in the comments why you're on social media, you're either looking for a way to make money from home or you've been trying and not getting the results you want. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Miss Travel. What do people call you? Because people jump on and off this live now earlier, and I don't think any of you were on here earlier. And I wrote this out. This is showing my YouTube channel, my TikTok account. I went over a 2 hour workday I'm doing that I learned from my mentor. It's her proven blueprint that I'm following. And you can get, that's one of the things about this, because you can get what you need to get done in 2 hours. Now, if you're new, that's probably going to take you longer because the more you do something, the better you get, the faster you get. Good morning, Tiffany. Mine's more than 2 hours because I'm doing more. I live stream for an hour and I'm on multiple social media platforms. I do recommend if you're new, you pick one social media platform and do it until you master it. Good morning, Kathy. Because if you try to get on too many too soon, and I have been doing this for a long time. I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. Those are the 4 main ones. I have accounts on other platforms, but I don't really use them that much. But I've been doing this for a long time. And if you're new, you don't want to do that. You want to pick one. Pick something you like. Excuse me, because if you don't like it, you probably won't stay on. You won't stay with it. So think about it, and then you want to do it until you master it. And a lot of people, they do is they think they get on multiple platforms and not really learning one of them, because you only in this industry, you only have to get really good at one thing and you can make a lot of money doing this. It's mindset and skill set. You have to master both. So I did commit to doing these for an hour every day. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Candy. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming from. I committed to doing these, and I've been doing these now. It'll be almost going on 3 months now. I've been here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I will continue to do that. And I committed to doing these for an hour. I'm getting close to the hour here. So if somebody has a question, drop it now. Or if you got something you're trying to figure out, I could do a training on another day. Drop in the comments. Good morning. Is it Diana? What part of the world are you coming in from? But if you have a question, drop it in the comments now, because I am getting close to the hour. Good morning, Melissa. I committed to doing these for an hour every single day. Good morning, Carl. And I'm here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I've been doing that for now. It's going on 3 months. So if you don't get your question in before I end this today, you can come back tomorrow, or you think about it and there's something you're trying to figure out. I'd be glad to do a training on it. If I haven't done it, I don't think it's ethical that I train on something I haven't done, but most likely I can give you a resource. I don't think it's ethical to train or teach on something you haven't done. But since nobody has any questions, good morning, user 8742. I'm gonna end this now. I will be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate everybody coming on, and thanks for liking my live.